What's going on, everybody? Good evening. I hope you all had a good work day and are going to be joining us tonight to chop it up. We're going to be talking about all the news, everything going on around the world, share a few laughs, have a good time, and, catch up with everybody. As you're coming in the room, just let us know you're here. And as I told y'all last week, make sure you go to the Set main page on Facebook or the Set main page on YouTube. Links are in the description, so just make sure you come through. All right? So before we start the show, I just want to make this announcement. If you were hurt in a motor vehicle construction or slip and fall accident, do you want a tough, no-nonsense New Yorker fighting for your case? You got to call my guy, Craig Rosick. He was born in Brooklyn, went to Lincoln and graduated. He's raised to fight for your case and your bread. So you don't want to fool around with the injuries you've incurred. Craig ain't going to leave no money on the table. Make sure you call him. Again, for a motor vehicle construction or slip and fall, call him today. Number's 212-953-1818. Y si habla español también. All right? That's Craig Rosick. 212-953-1818. And with that said, let's start the show. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A.
I'm B. Chanel.
Sully Sasson in the building.
And as always, this is the Set 6145. Tonight, we're going to chop it up, bring you up to speed, let you know what's going on around the world, locally and internationally. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go international.
Vacation.
How's everybody been? You guys enjoyed the last show? Was it everything you thought it would be?
Everything I dreamed of.
Everything and then some.
Yeah.
As you can see, the cast is feeling very well. We're moving right along, and everybody got the jitters out the way. New setting is just a different feeling, so I hope everybody's enjoying that. So I guess I'm going to set it off tonight, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
The first story, of course, being Puerto Rico. Right now, Puerto Rico has got hit once again with a hurricane. I'm sure they weren't prepared for it. It's Fiona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they always use these names? Like when
Fiona. Like Shrek.
Yeah, Shrek, Fiona. So it's a sad situation in that, the American government is like an absentee, like slumlord right now for Puerto Rico. What do you guys think?
100%.
Yeah.
Well, here we go again. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. It's... I feel like, why haven't we learned our lesson yet? I mean, I get why, but it's like, come on, these are people.
We haven't learned, like, we who?
Like, the United States, not Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, they just have to, they're dealing with what they got. They can only do so much with the resources that they're given.
Right.
You would think, I mean, Trump was the last president, but you know what I mean? Like, you would think that Biden would want to be like, oh, let me, this is my chance to make shit look better.
I believe he declared a state of emergency for Puerto Rico, which sort of opens the door.
I don't know. When did Trump, was it Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Maria.
So, I mean, is there time to step up, right? Let's see what, like, Biden and the Democrats, it's your time to step up. And if they declared the state of emergency, then, that's a beginning, that's a start. I would like to see, Jake Paul and the Paul brothers and all these people that take advantage of Puerto Rico with their taxes and living, let's see them step up now and see what they do for PR. So
that's such a very salient point that my man just made right now. If you guys have been on social media since the start, pre-Fiona, a lot of these people were leaving, and they were saying, we're going home. But I thought Puerto Rico was your home now. And I'm talking about these tax shelter babies.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that everybody in the Americas needs to look at, one, and two, not only that, but Puerto Ricans need to look at. And by the way, salute to our brother Adrian Roman El Viajero. He was on the show, artist Boricua. He's always doing things for the island to bring like people's attention to what's going on the
Awareness.
island. Yeah, both in the past and in the present. And salute to Brooklyn Storm. We see you. Her grandfather's 100 years old, and she hasn't been able to get in contact with him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. But I think that Puerto Ricans in America really need to understand, what's going on and what has been going on with Puerto Rico forever, like the entirety of my life. America has abandoned them, and they've burdened them with debt, like in the billions. And I know people like to talk about which party's doing what. Listen, at the end of the day, the people in Puerto Rico don't care about that, right? I believe wholeheartedly that the local leadership should be ousted completely, like they did to Homeboy, what was it, last year? They went to his house and was like, yo, he bounced. Because they've been robbing money and hiding, like, water from people. So I really believe that the people in Puerto Rico should be on full-on revolution mode. They should oust the local leadership. They should seize the armories. And they should just take care of themselves. Because the reality is nobody's going to do nothing for them. That place is being pilfered. And these people go over there to hide from paying taxes. Like, no. They're not bringing jobs. They're not doing anything productive for the island. They're just taking. Why should they be allowed to stay there? Puerto Ricans should take their lands and oust them. Like, get out of here. I know that sounds a little far-fetched, but it's like, come on. Like,
Well, how do you do that financially? They can't do it financially.
no,
Physically?
Yeah, I just said it. I know it sounds crazy. It's time for change.
I think it's how can you do something like that when you're worried about where your next meal is coming from, where your water's coming from? Like, I feel like if I don't have it in me to fight when I have to protect my family, so I feel like it's really easy to say there should be a revolution.
Glad you said that.
Instead of like going full heart. Like, if this was maybe even before Maria, totally. I totally think that that is something that is achievable, but they're still recovering from Maria, and then they just got hit with this one. So it's like, I mean, I'm tired and I'm not even there.
Rinse, cycle, repeat. Rinse,
Yeah,
cycle,
like at a certain point, you're like, shit, man, why I gotta keep doing this? Why does this keep happening?
I don't know if you heard about in Mexico also with the water, that the cartel had like bought like the water, like the last left of water supplies. There was a drought, and they're like selling water, like they're like took control of the water supplies and stuff. So I mean, that might be something that might in Puerto Rico they might be looking to do too, So who knows? I mean, AOC, I believe they're putting something to the table again about the becoming a state. So who knows where they're going with this? But something needs to be done. It's just like I said, it's the same thing over repeating itself.
Now, I know that my particular brand of position when it comes to Puerto Rico seems far-fetched, and it seems drastic because it's like, yo, they can't revolt. Listen, at some point in time in a relationship, you gotta just stand up and be like, yo, Ja, enough is enough. That's the reality. It's like, how long do you keep letting somebody kick you in the face until you say, all right, not today?
Totally.
And when Maria happened, and they went on this public relations campaign about giving Puerto Rico $90 billion, like right then and there, that was the signal for Puerto Rico to be like, yo, you know what? Ya con esta mierda, that's it. Renewable energy, solar panels, biodiesel, and Puerto Rico will be all right.
What's the thing? Loomis? What's the thing?
Luma. They sold the power grid to two private companies, and they still can't keep the electricity on. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I say this to people, like, they should revolt. They're like, oh, that's crazy. All right, so what are we going to wait for?
Barbaric.
Yeah. What are we going to wait for until none of our families live in Puerto Rico? Because that's what's happening.
No, I don't think that they shouldn't. But I feel like it's understandable that they're like, shit, I don't want to. I feel like I shouldn't have to. I think it should eventually happen.
Well, maybe it's part of the plan. It's like
An eventual.
when Coney Island and Red Hook and when Hurricane Sandy and all these places, these families were getting displaced. Everybody said that's part of a bigger plan, gentrification, and they're gonna make those projects into co-ops and condos, and so maybe Puerto Rico is just part of that plan too, like get them out of there and
So,
you know.
okay, we're gonna wait till it happens completely, because the island, when it got hit with Maria, how many Puerto Ricans came to the States? They flooded Florida,
Yeah.
right? Now they get hit again.
Orlando's Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Now they get hit again, and even before they got hit, they were talking about, they don't keep the power on. Like the power goes off intermittently, like it just, no power. What do you wait? Listen. At the end of the day, America has infected Puerto Rico with its materialism and keeping up with the Joneses and all that shit.
Jones Act.
The Jones Act. Dude, you're paying wild money. What benefits does Puerto Rico have from being in a relationship with America, of being a Commonwealth? Forget about statehood. Statehood is trash. That just means, like, all right, you're with us fully now. Like, you're not the side piece no more. You're wifey now. All right, now what?
I want to
Please
sway a little bit off top because you mentioned, like, okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
How about me as a New Yorker?
Mm-hmm.
I was born in PR, came here at 8 years old, didn't speak English. Go back to PR as an adult, and I'm looking at like Insecto, this and that, New York Rican, and I'm like, I was born in Puerto Rico. So how about those Puerto Ricans that feel like, you know what, I don't want to help those people in PR. They don't care about me.
Si lo puede vivir los blanqui, the natives could come home, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
But there's tons of the people like that are racist against their own.
Yeah.
No,
see
yeah.
lesser of their own. At the end of the day, it still depends how you want to put your hand out to help people.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
You're still gonna take that water if you drowning. You're still gonna take that water if you dehydrated.
Puerto Rico has been prostituted. And I just don't understand what it's going to take for people to be like, yo, you know what, this has to stop. Because it's not, I could understand if it was 1988 when America took over Puerto Rico. Nah, that shit happened like 1890 something. Like, they've had their grip on Puerto Rico. Domino Sugar, where do you think they got their start? Where do you think they got their sugar from to start Domino Sugar that you see and you buy in the store? That's Puerto Rico.
Sugar canes. Mm-hmm.
They owe us reparations for that.
Mm-hmm.
They took the sugar. They called us savages. They said we were lazy. They said we couldn't be taught. They took our flag. They wanted to. They did so. Like, what are we getting? Vieques is destroyed. They're building high rises, destroying the landscape, destroying the beaches. I mean,
They did revolt with that though.
right. So, mira que espera. Like, I know, again, it
might
seems
be
drastic.
just waiting in the wings. It might be way sooner than we think.
Nah, I think they're disillusioned with the fact that America's going to help them, and they haven't built.
What other resources do they have?
They've stripped the feeling of pride from Puerto Rico. They've stripped the elders, the respect for the elders from Puerto Rico, and the young people. They're all about reggaeton and smoking weed and the killing out there is crazy, broad daylight.
Yeah, but I mean, respect for elders, that's here too. I mean, that's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
Right, but think about this, Sally. When we were teenagers, like, let's say about that time frame in the 80s, when you went to Puerto Rico, could you pull that bullshit, disrespectful shit to your elders out there?
No.
Exactly. You could call a man a cabrón and you'll get chopped to pieces. Like, dudes, it was different. And this was over time. Like, again, I'm going to let this go for now, but we are going to be promoting organizations that are trying to help the island. So everybody just, be aware of that. You're going to see promotionals coming from us. There's a couple of organizations that we want to promote that if you want to give to Puerto Rico to help, you can. So just be on the lookout for that.
Alrighty. So intense.
That's it.
So if you live under a rock or... Anyway, let me get into it. Have you heard about the Adnan Syed case?
The guy who killed his girlfriend that just got released from jail?
Didn't kill his girlfriend, but okay.
I'm sorry.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I don't want to get sued. Allegedly.
On Monday, Adnan Syed, who has been in prison for the murder of Heyman Lee, his girlfriend in high school.
Wait, time out.
What?
Her name was Hyman Lee?
Heyman Lee.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry.
Hey, man, Lee.
Oh, God. Heyman Lee, in Baltimore, they were 17. That was his ex-girlfriend at the time. She went missing. They didn't find her body for 3 weeks. Somebody came forward and was like, he pressured me into helping him bury the body, yada, yada, yada. He went to jail, 23 years, got out on Monday. So he's not free. He isn't exonerated. He's vacated, which basically means that prosecutors have 30 days to decide if they're going to take it to trial or completely drop the charges. And that is incredibly big because he has held his innocence since the beginning, and he had an opportunity to get out around, I want to say, 2018.
Yeah, he could have just copped to it and they would have let him go?
Yeah, they would have let him go.
And he was like, nah, I'll walk ball. Fuck that.
Oh, my God.
No.
He was like, no, I'm innocent. I'll stay here until it's proven. And this kid got a really shitty trial. He was 17 at the time, and he was doing what kids were doing. His family was very involved in their religion. She was, I think she was Korean.
Was she Korean?
I think she was Korean. So she, they had broken up. It was on mutual terms. They were in high school. They thought they were in love with each other. Mm-hmm. They broke up. It was chill. And she started dating some guy that was at her job, whatever. So basically they're
3
saying...
weeks later?
She was missing for 3 weeks.
Oh.
They had been on and off, and then they were like completely off.
Gotcha.
But he was a good-looking kid in high school, so it wasn't like it was anything crazy. So it was a mutual thing. Anyway, he went to jail based on a friend that he had, like a person that he like smoked with in school and stuff like that. Basically went to the cops and was like, yeah, he did it. But his story kept changing. And he wasn't a reliable source, but they were like, we don't care. This is a brown kid. Like, we're going to take him down.
We can close this case.
We can close this case.
They
were feeding the kid.
Baltimore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
Baltimore.
feeding the kid information.
Baltimore.
Like, if you want to know more about this case, 1,000% listen to the Serial podcast with Sarah Cohen. That is where it kind of all not started. That's like, she was the kind of the birth of true crime podcasting, which, if you know anything, true crime podcasting is ginormous. I know. I had a true crime podcast.
Yeah. What was it called again?
Gumshoe Weekly.
Yeah, Gumshoe Weekly. There you go.
Gumshoe Weekly.
Gumshoe
Yeah.
Weekly, yeah.
So this is one of the cases that has always stood with me because it was just this kid had a shit case from the beginning, but he never like talked bad about anybody. He never was like, my lawyer fucking threw me under the bus. Even though she was just asking his family for money, she was asking all her clients for money and then like not doing her part of the job. So he just got a really shit case. And last week, Wednesday, was when they were like, the prosecutors were like, this is not a good case. Like, this is not the things that you're trying to stand up this case on, they don't. It
That
falls apart.
prosecutor was a public defendant.
No.
She wasn't?
Yeah, she was first.
Yeah, she was.
She was a public defender
was a-
first, and then she became the
No,
prosecutor.
she's talking about the person that freed him.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she was a public defender,
Public
and then
defender,
she became
and
a
I think the
prosecutor.
Serial podcast actually brought the attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Serial was the first one in 2014, and then there was a new one, undisclosed, and his really close, one of his friends from high school, his sister, Rabia, I don't remember her last name, Shakur, something like that. Rabia was her name. She has been on this case from the beginning. Like, she was the one who was like lugging boxes around, and she was like, we're going to get this
I
kid
think
out.
the timelines, they were together at certain timelines. I think the sister and him or something like that.
So it's just this incredibly crazy case that it really has just stood with me. And it happened in 1998 that this happened. Like, if you saw his face, you're like, oh, I've seen that kid's face.
Well, we had a I don't want to say too much because I don't want to name names, but we had a friend growing up that had a situation where he was accused of something, and you know, he didn't do it. It was a close family member allegedly, and when he went to trial, they offered him 3 to 5 years or whatever, and he was like, no, I don't want it. And he had a public defender, and he was like, I'm going to trial. And they blew trial, and he did about 20 years. And he came home a few years ago, and he, to this day, was, you know, proclaimed as innocent. And he did about 18 years, I think, right?
Yeah, 18, 20 years.
So,
I
yeah.
think it's crazy the how big true crime is, and how, like, these amateur sleuths are coming out of the woodworks to be like, no, this is what's really happening. This is the case. And just the prosecutors were very, like, strict in what they said about, it's not that we think he's innocent, it's that we think that there's no grounds for this case. Like, they didn't want to go, because now there's all this DNA stuff that they can go in, and now they have touch DNA.
They had DNA back then. They just
But
didn't
not
do
the-
anything.
No, they didn't have the technology to deal with the DNA like they do now.
Right, but I don't think. Well, let me rephrase that. From what I understand, they didn't take any DNA, not from the car. Not
Well,
from,
yeah, now there's new evidence, but let's say they had that evidence then. They they don't have the technology to test it the way they do now.
There's evidence that beyond a reasonable doubt, right? You have to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. So that would got him out.
Yeah.
Right? That would have
Yeah.
got him out.
Well, here's the other thing. There wasn't any trace of him in the car. There wasn't any, because allegedly, how the story goes is she strangled and placed in the trunk of her car, right? Allegedly, this happened in the day, like the daytime,
Yeah.
from 2:15 to about 2:30,
Yeah.
2:45, right? Supposedly, she strangled and then placed in the trunk of a car in front of a Best Buy. So think about this, just that story alone. In the middle of the afternoon, a young woman is strangled in her car and put into that very car's trunk. Nobody saw anything? Like, how is this dude picking up this body, just dead person, and putting them in the trunk? Nobody saw. Then there's no trace of him in the car, in the trunk, no fibers, no nothing.
Oh, yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But what they used was what was advanced for that time. They used cell phone towers to
Right,
ping
that
his
was a-
location.
that
and
was
it's
a
like,
whole-
that doesn't really work. And I
Right.
heard half the experts that they had weren't really experts.
I'll give you
Like, they
one-
got discredited.
I'll give you one better. His cell phone carrier wrote them and said, listen, these pings they're not substantial. They don't hold up. Like, this isn't, the information isn't right, what you're trying to assert. So what you're trying to claim about this person's phone, no, it's
Yeah.
not a go. So, yeah.
And he didn't even have his phone on him. The friend was the one who had the phone.
Which friend? Jay?
Jay Wilder, that's the one who had the phone. And to this day, his story still changes.
Jay didn't do no time.
He did.
Well, he did.
Because he told them, oh, I helped him bury her body.
Yeah, so they charged him with some as an accessory after the fact.
Yeah. They didn't charge him like the 23 years. I think he got like 7 to 14 years, something like
I
that.
think he got like 6 months probation.
I think he like went away though.
We got to call the research department. Josh, what did he Okay.
Okay.
I like that. He's playing it safe. I don't want to commit.
Between 6 months and 17 years.
We're looking for a black male by the height of 4'11" to 6'6".
But yeah, I mean, the documentaries are insane. The whole case
Yeah.
is just fucking bananas. That they were just like, oh no, it's fine. The craziest part to me, sorry, this is like,
No.
I'm very intense
You're very
about
committed.
this
I
one.
get it. No, go ahead. Run with it.
This one,
True crime.
yeah.
We
She
tapped.
had a boyfriend who was older, who worked at her job. It was an optical place, right? He worked at her job. His mom was his boss. She checked him in to work that day. Like, came back from lunch, she was the one who
Punched him
clocked his time card. Yeah.
So basically,
And they just found
Sounds like the
two
OJ
notes.
case.
Yeah. They found two.
The
Yeah,
son swiped or whatever.
the knife.
They found 2 handwritten notes that that are 2 other totally different people. They were like, "Oh, look at these 2 people that were like, oh yeah, we didn't really look into them, but we heard about them, and then that was it." That like,
Well, that's
it's
happened
just,
for years. Like the Central Park 5, right? The Central Park
yeah,
5. And
it's very much along those lines
We,
of like, oh, it's them, it's fine, nobody's gonna care because it's little brown kids. Like,
I remember we used to go get police lineups for White Castles, basically. Remember the cops used to pick us up. Hey, come on, we'll give you $20. Do the police lineup.
Yep. And you know what? Speaking of that, you
that is terrifying.
You remember? We were
were-
kids.
We were kids, like
You-
teens,
you
right?
remember
Broke.
Sue-
And
you
when
rem-
you're broke,
You remember Sue
but
from
what
the
if
neighborhood?
they picked you?
yeah, we didn't think that.
An older guy from our neighborhood. He went and did that, and they tried to pin a murder on him. But he had like airtight alibis.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
That don't even.
Yeah.
That's not legal.
Yeah, well, it's the police.
Uh-oh.
No, but see,
Moving on. There we go.
yo, but this is the reality. Nobody wants to talk about their shit. How is it that podcasters are helping people get off for murders?
That shit is crazy. That is
that
fucking
right
crazy.
there should tell you, like, yo, these dudes is late. Yo, Central Park 5.
What did the guy say? Sorry, cut you.
No,
off.
yeah.
The Noah what's the guy from the
Trevor
show?
Noah?
Yeah, Trevor Noah. He said if they made jury duty like a game where everybody would watch like that, they
Yeah.
would do it. They would like, nobody likes jury duty, but they would watch that.
Oh,
and
hell
like,
yeah.
and vote.
Oh, yeah.
Guilty, not guilty.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Central Park 5, there's people in this country to this day that believe wholeheartedly that they're guilty.
Yeah.
They're still guilty. And that, it's the justice system.
It's really fun to live with ignorant bliss. Like,
No, being ignorant is not bliss. That statement should tell you exactly what that means. Like, you people are fucking lazy, and you go off emotion and nonsense, and you just run with that. But then when the facts come up, like, he should sue the shit out of everybody. Like,
Alonzo made a really funny point, though. He said, what if he did it? And I've never been so mad in my life.
I thought that though too.
but there's nothing to. There's
Right.
nothing.
There's
no evidence to.
Right.
Because I was thinking that too
Right.
when I first heard the story, framed in the context of this guy and he did, and I was like, yeah, he did that shit.
No.
No, but then I went
Either
back.
that or he's a really good actor. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Throw
He's a
nobody under the
17?
bus.
I don't know.
He's 18. He's 41. He came out.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's 40.
yo,
Yeah.
viejo ya, el tipo.
You can't get that. I mean, you
You
get
can't
money
get those
back,
years
but you
back.
can't get
Your life, no,
Your life is
no.
gone.
Like,
And he's like, apparently he's just a really nice person. He's never talked bad about like, you could hear him because on Serial, she has voice record. She's spoken to him while he was in jail and stuff like that. And he talks about like his life inside and stuff like that. So it's like, Rabia, who's his she's just like a lawyer for him. That's like his family. She was like, I've never heard him say anything bad about anybody. She was like, in the 23 years that I've known him and he's been dealing with this, he's like,
Sally, let me ask you a question.
you're fine.
How many people in this country do you believe watching that case are thinking to themselves, that dirty Muslim did that?
Oh,
I'm sure there is. Percentage? You want a percentage?
No. I'm just saying, like,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Because it speaks to people in this moment, like, especially right now in 2022. People just love to convict others without knowing shit. And I know there's so many people out there that see court cases like that
excuse me.
prior to him being released, just like the Central Park 5 and so on. There's so many people that are in jail that are innocent. And that case should be a marker, just like the Central Park 5. There's a bunch of people that have been sent up the river that are innocent.
well, we touched briefly last week on like the Illinois, the law, and I mean, me personally, I kind of like bunch up justice system, racism, rich and poor. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I basically,
Yeah.
I look at things that way.
Yeah.
If you got money and you don't, like
Yep.
that's, to me, that's the prejudice and the racist people.
You know what's funny? Salute to our OG, Mr. Joseph Estrella. We were having a discussion about race and class, and that's the okey doke that this government has pulled, that they pulled over the people. You know, it's not about race. It's not at all. This is what I'm gonna say. Once white folks start realizing that they are not any different or not any better than anybody outside of their so-called race, and start dealing with those feelings about what they've been taught, because it's learned behavior. Children are not born racist. You have to be taught that shit. Once they start reconciling that, I think things in this country will get real dangerous, and not for us. It will get dangerous for the government.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once you strip yourself of that stupidity, shit changes. And before the show ends tonight, I'm going to read off. I have some a new segment we're going to do here for the readers, that we want to implore them to read these books to sort of make a connection to what Mr. Sassoon was saying about money, those that have and have not, and how that plays into everything.
You should also read Trevor Noah's biography. It's really good.
You up, so?
Yeah. We talk. What are we talking about? P&B, right?
P&B Rock.
P&B Rock and all these rappers. You know, I mean, some of these rappers, I don't know, have no clue who they are. You know, I never heard them. You know, but this is my playlist is on the 90s anyway, so 90s and 2000s. But yeah. What's your take on it? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like all these violent rappers.
I want to ask Miss Chanel. I want to know about her mindset and all this, because she is that generation. You know, were you a P&B Rock fan at all?
I like 2 songs. I have 2 songs in my playlist. The one
okay.
that he got famous off of, and then like some other one that I had heard. He make real disrespectful music though.
He did?
So like, yeah.
Disrespectful in what way?
To like women. Don't be questioning me, like, you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wait, hold on. I'll
All
sing
right.
this, but you don't sing this.
That is ironic, you know that, right? Like, why? I don't know why. Why is that?
Wait, what? What?
Why is it that you could like his music, but he's like singing misogyny and all this stuff, and like,
Because it's music at the end of the day. So
oh well.
this is the same shit as the 90s.
Wait. R. Kelly, he's still a go?
No, absolutely not.
Why?
What do you mean, why? This is not the same thing at all.
No. I'm just saying, is music misogyny?
No.
And you know it's not. There's a correct, and I'm not trying to go sideways. There's a correct term for what R. Kelly was doing. He's not a pedophile. Pedophile is, there's 3 terms. There's a person who likes children. That's a pedophile, obviously.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
Right. There's a term for a person who likes like
A certain age group,
like
yeah.
you know, like 12 to like 15, and that's another term. And then there's 16 to like 20. That's another
Yeah,
term.
yeah.
So technically,
That's where Leonardo DiCaprio is.
yeah, exactly. And all-
Epstein Island.
yeah.
Some of that's Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
and some of
yeah,
that's Epstein Island. And,
Yo, mira.
oh, you know.
Oh, yo. Washington Heights, be cool. We love y'all. So technically, he's not a pedophile, right?
I guess.
I'm not saying or justifying what he did was right at all, but I'm just saying, like, listening to you say that you could listen to this guy's misogynistic lyrics and like the song, it just, you know, I'm trying to understand.
R.
Things
Kelly
can't be
peed on little
separated.
girls. What do you-
Like Michael Jackson and R. Kelly, that can't be
Wait,
separated.
Nah. I don't believe Michael Jackson was molesting kids, bro.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
either.
people
Sorry.
believe that, but I'm
no.
just saying,
Do you believe it?
I don't. I think he was a kid himself. Like I
Yeah.
think he lost his childhood, and I feel that he was kind of like set up for money.
A lot of
too,
those
and
people
all that.
came
Yeah.
out and said that it
The
wasn't.
first kid that supposedly had cancer or whatever, he came out, oh, my parents made me.
Yeah, it was all apparent because I listened to Steve-O has a podcast and he had Aaron Carter on it, who was super close with Michael Jackson. And Aaron Carter's parents were like, yo, you need to say Michael Jackson touched you so we can get this money. He was like, fuck you guys. Like, I love Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that I don't think he did it.
But even Macaulay
Do I
Culkin.
think it was like cool that he had little kids hanging out in his house? No, that's for no.
I put that on the parents.
Of course, we all do.
Like y'all would look for me, they were looking for bread.
Yeah, of course.
Right? I wouldn't, like it's like what Dave Chappelle said. Would you let your kid? Ew, no, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Go to his crib, play. Like, all right, let's all hang out. I'm here too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, go play. Have fun with Michael.
I didn't leave my kids with nobody.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
Bringing
sorry.
it back to
Okay,
the
yeah.
P&B Rock. P&B Rock. Yeah.
What happened? Tragic,
Right.
obviously. I think a lot of what's going on with a lot of the rappers today is all a show. We're all doing it for show. Where like I think it was Dr. Dre who came out and said like old school rappers who actually grew up in these really hard lives and stuff like that and came from these bad backgrounds, conditions. They don't walk around with chains. They don't walk around with all these things that all these new rappers do. So I think it's all a front. That's my. Do I think he should be hanging out in Roscoe's Chicken? Being not that he was like A-list rapper, but come on, bro. Like, what are you doing?
It's gang culture, right? A lot of the rap now is gang culture. Not to say that it wasn't back then,
Right.
but the woman. I'm not saying the girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she was in on it, right? Because there was rumors about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However,
A lot of people were saying that.
Yeah.
I remember when we used to go out partying and doing our thing, how two of my friends got set up by women.
By women.
And
Yeah.
that's the easiest way to get somebody.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they didn't get killed, but they got robbed. And I remember one of my friends was like in the shower and walked out, and the guy was there like, and when the cops came, he was like, "Yeah, they set me up." Like, so it definitely.
He figured it out
Oh
immediately.
yeah, he was in the hotel room with the girls.
And these dudes just show up, door
And the
open.
guy comes, and he was inside the room. So how do you do that?
Wow.
Butt naked out the shower, like, you got me. Like, yeah, take what you want. And then I had another friend that I was like, they set you up, and he was like, no. But I was like 100% because I was following. Like, they kind of like split off on me. And I was like, all right, whatever. I got by the BQE here, and they were like, yeah, I got robbed. I was like, you got set up, bro.
Wow.
So, I mean.
I definitely think it's all about the clout of it. Like, to be able to say that you've done these things to people who are known. Like, what's his name? XX Tentacion. That one. PNB. Like, all these people who are getting killed and stuff like that. To me, it's clout. Like, you said, who I killed this guy. You know what I mean? Like, and you coming
hood.
from this mindset of, like, this is normal. I see this every day.
Right.
You're not going to be like... At the end of the day, this generation doesn't know how to shut the hell up. Like, if you're gonna do dirt, don't go and share your dirt with everybody. Like, that's not smart.
We out here, boy. I just bodied this guy, y'all.
Or like they ended up finding his jewelry in a pawn shop. Wait till shit cools down. Like,
They did? They found
yeah,
it?
they traced that.
They
shit.
already found it?
So if they have cameras, they still brought it in. I'm
Yeah.
sure, like,
Wow.
So like you didn't even let
Not
the shit
smart.
cool down a little bit, and he was like, but then I'm also like, are you a product of your environment? Like, you really need the money? Like, it's just too many factors.
I listen.
But it wasn't smart.
There's a whole discussion going on right now about who invented hip hop, and I know we spoke about this briefly, right? I don't even like hip hop anymore because hip hop that's out now is trash, and a lot of people who are my age or older that are trying to keep up with the times, calling me old head because I listen to 90s music. 90s music is music, bro. Sorry. This right here that's on the radio is microwavable popcorn. Every
you know
other
what's
day. What's up?
Think about when you were younger. Like, your parents were like, this is trash.
Yes.
Why are you listening to this?
100%.
Well,
So now you are
wait.
that.
We the old man.
Wait, hold on. Time out. Let me correct the record. My father he would start acting funny and doing what he does. But my mom, may she rest in peace, mommy never was like, turn off that music, it's trash.
Big boobly bump bump.
Yeah, exactly. Like mommy was a bartender for a short period of time when I was a young kid.
Well, you always have that one parent.
Right. Yeah, no, the
You
one
always
parent,
gonna have the one parent
Yeah.
who's like, this shit is a bop.
Yeah.
Not every parent's gonna be like, this is trash.
But what I want to say is, the so-called hip hop today is two things. It is gang culture and it's stripper culture, and both those two together is trash. It's just trash. What happened to that dude? Sad, but you know what? It's demonstrative of what everybody's doing now. We used to make fun of gang shit. Remember? NWA, we was like, Jerry Curl, these gang shit left New York with the invention of hip hop. It left New York. So now when Chicago started popping, and that's drill music from Chicago? It's drill.
Yeah.
So when drill music became popular, all the kids in New York who had no direction, no sort of somebody guiding them or trying to guide them, got into it. And now, Chirac. Now all these kids is killing each other. Like it's nothing. Like life is, you could pick it up at Target. But hip hop right now,
I feel like you should think about what are they coming from?
they're coming from nothing. They have no guidance.
But that's what I mean. Like, coming from nothing financially, mentally, like this is a very different world than you lived in and you grew up in.
Nah.
It is though.
Nah. I grew up in the 70s. Mm-hmm. When Sally and I started living on 61st Street, I was there a little earlier before him. The block was infested with heroin. And I'm not talking about, 1, 2. We had 5 guys on one side, 5 guys on the other, and as soon as a junkie would turn the corner, they would all running each other.
But I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you shouldn't discredit just because it's a different problem.
No, I'm not trying to discredit them. They're coming from circumstances.
They're coming from circumstances
and,
just
and
like
the funding and there's like we have after school programs. We had a bunch of stuff.
We don't have that shit now.
We had PAL. We had a lot of stuff.
It's different problems. Right. It's a different time, and you're gonna get different problems with a different time.
Certain things like we grew up with was like dope fiend, guys sniffing glue. You know what I mean? That we saw.
Yep.
But we also had those outlets of which they don't have nowadays.
They don't.
They took all that stuff away
by design.
So
that's what I mean. It's just a different problem.
Mommy and daddy working 2 jobs. They working all this time, and who's watching them?
Nobody. The streets are.
So you get the wrong kid. We said we talked about doing police lineups to eat White Castle. What are they doing now?
They're looking to be in the lineup because they're killing each other. There's nothing for them. I'm glad you brought that up. This is very true, and it's all by design. And they've been doing that for a while, taking the funding away from after school programs, the arts, so on and so forth. There could be great producers that could be coming out of the Bronx right now, or Brooklyn, or Queens, but they're being shot down because they're all in this gang culture. And the industry, the record executives, are pumping that. They just are.
Of course. This is what you got to...
Huh?
Perfect.
This is what you got.
Sorry. My bad.
No, what happened?
Belcher Chanel. Belcher Chanel. We're going to change the name.
I drank some juice and now I can't.
Belcher.
Okay. Right.
I keep trying to get away from the mic.
You burping into the mic?
Yeah. Try not to.
Hey, that's better than the reverse. All right. Last topic. I'm going to do it. Sorry. So it comes out that Lamar Odom is dating a transgender woman. And as you can see by the looks on my co-host's face, I was supposed to talk about the Queen, but nah. I'm very confused by this.
I don't know why.
But I'm not.
That's his preference.
I'm not confused. We're not talking about ketchup and mustard. We're talking about a completely the same. It's a. All right.
Do you know Lamar Odom?
Nope.
Are you his friend?
Nope.
So how would you know what he's been doing this whole time behind closed doors?
I don't. I know
now he's like, I'm proud to be who I am.
Is that what he's doing?
Maybe. I'm not Lamar Odom told me, so I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, it was a shock to me to see this. So I'm bringing it up to be discussed. But my castmates, you guys, do you have another topic?
Oh, you don't want to go?
No. I know you don't want to talk about it. I just wanted to say that anyway, just to buzz balls. Go ahead. So you got a topic?
Ding Dong, the witch is dead.
We could do the Queen. We could do the Queen. You do the Queen.
All right.
Let's talk about the Queen.
She's dead.
The Queen of England has finally passed away, that old vampire bitch. And a lot of people are taking it personal that people are being celebratory about it. They're claiming that it's being disrespectful, so on and so forth. I actually, I respect how people feel, because if you know her history, if you know the monarch's history of their colonialism around the world, you can understand why people would be like, yeah, I'm glad she's dead. But what say you guys?
I feel like I don't care. And I don't care because she's not here. She's not our queen.
She's your queen.
I think who the hell cares? Do I think it should be on every single channel? No. Do I think it's fucked up that it's overshadowing other things that are happening in the country, like the hurricane in Puerto Rico, the disastrous effects of it? It's fucked up. I don't give a shit about the queen, though.
Do you think that could fly here?
Who?
I'm saying the queen, like that could fly here in the States? Like, I mean, they tried.
Like as a queen?
Yeah, like
can we have a queen?
A monarch?
Yeah.
It almost just happened. If Trump would have overturned that whole January 6th shit,
Well, that's communism. That's something different, I think.
he would have been
He would've been the
seen
queen.
shit. He would have been.
was the queen.
He would have been. And there'd be nothing wrong with that, right?
No, ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's his choice.
You know what I just saw? What we saw in the movies? The woman king.
Oh, the woman. I heard that movie's trash.
It wasn't that good.
Okay.
It
All
was
right,
a
but
little
wait. The queen. Go ahead. You were saying so? That couldn't fly here?
Yeah, I'm
Playing devil's
wondering if it
advocate.
could.
yeah, like would that fly here?
It almost
like, would
happened.
People have to be like bow and do all this
Nah.
bullshit.
I don't know about.
Yeah, like-
I don't know
I don't
about in that. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know about in that form of like a real monarchy, but a dictator. Yeah,
A dictator, yeah, probably.
yeah. It
If
almost
it was
happened.
like smooth, like how Trump was with it, meaning
Smooth.
like how many fucking followers he had and shit like that, I think it would be an easier transition than us having a queen and following under those kinds of rules. Does that make sense?
Does Trump
Yeah.
run again, or does DeSantis run?
We're fucked either way.
I say
don't
they
think
both.
Trump
I think Trump is gonna be dead. I'm not wishing dead on him, like whatever. I think he's gonna die. That's
Can
what
you
I
still get in
think.
trouble for making threats?
I'm not making threats.
I'm just asking.
Yeah,
Can
you
still
can.
make-
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Shorty don't know.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, she got enough time. She could do 40
I
years.
don't. I can't afford it.
Get the Saeed's lawyer.
Yeah, for real. We're gonna have to get the Serial Podcast to help us out. You made me lose my train of thought.
Trump. Run.
Trump, yeah. He has so many charges coming his way. That's the first part.
Coming.
Yeah,
Shit is in his house.
DeSantis
Is a piece of shit.
for being a human trafficking asshole and sending those migrants up to Martha's Vineyard. He's gonna be charged now too.
Right.
Because that was a whole you can't just.
I don't know if he'd be charged though, because didn't Biden and them do that not too long ago? About they had like 70 planes go
Go where?
to Texas. To Jacksonville.
Woohoo.
To Jacksonville, what, Mississippi?
No, Jacksonville,
Florida?
Yeah,
What
they
is-
had they it was like a tit for tat basically.
Why are they fucking playing with these people's lives?
Yeah, they like cattle, like that.
Like,
move them over
these
here,
are
move there.
people. Cut it out.
Yeah, they I believe they had like 70 planes sent of migrants to Jacksonville, and then that's where DeSantis kind of like did it back now, like a tit for tat with them. So, I mean, I know they were trying to bring charges on them, but I don't know. I mean, the bad part is you promise these people things that they're not receiving now. That at Martha's Vineyard, and not to say that. I'm not saying they deserve anything because they're not from this country. Whatever, you get into that part of it, but
But I think they.
Right.
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
They did it. They did it because those are states that take in immigrants.
Sanctuary cities.
Yeah,
cities,
and that's what they're doing in Florida. I don't think is one.
Yeah, but the way that this happened with DeSantis, and I'm looking at the story that Sasson was pointing out about Biden. It says it here in the Denver Gazette that he sent more than 70 flights transporting migrants from the southern border to Jacksonville, and they landed in the dark of night in recent months as the Biden administration struggles to empty overflowing border facilities. So, all right, that's a real thing.
But does it?
So DeSantis didn't do that. What DeSantis did was
Put your money where your
somebody
mouth is.
somebody in Texas went to these dudes who were I believe they were in a processing center, So they were coming in legally, or
Yeah.
they were legally processed to be here. And he was like, hey, you guys want jobs and this and that? Come with me. Took them to a plane, shot them over to Florida, and they were like, oh, this is great. I believe they landed in Miami or something like that. And they were like, yeah, we're going to get jobs. He's like, yeah, hold that thought. We're about to get on another plane.
Oh my god.
Got them on another plane and took them up to Martha's Vineyard.
But shout out to Martha's Vineyard because they
They
went
reacted.
and, yeah, they did what they had to do. They put their money where their mouth was.
Yeah. So, you know,
Isn't that how the slaves came over? Hey guys, we got a
No.
job for you. Come. We got a job for you. Come, get on this boat.
I fucked up. Ooh, that's another thing, man. That's, oh, Jesus Christ. That's a whole
He's like,
discussion.
don't get me going. We only got 5 minutes.
No, there's that you're saying that there's a whole other discussion going on that led from another discussion that was happening.
I have one more I
Go
want to
ahead.
bring up real quick. It's quick. So
Sure.
it's an integrity thing.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys been following Aaron Judge, Yankees.
Uh-huh.
He's like going for the home run record.
Yeah.
And he hit a historical 60,
Yeah.
number 60 yesterday. And the guy who got the ball was a 20-year-old kid,
Uh-huh.
gave Aaron the ball back.
Wow.
He just got like photos, alleged, supposedly that's what, photos and, a group picture with his friends and some signing stuff. Are you giving that ball back?
Hell no. You coming off some bread if you want
I
this.
tell you what it's worth
Yeah.
right now.
What?
It's worth $500,000 right now.
Off rip?
Off rip.
Should have waited till he died.
Yeah. You're not giving that back?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
For who?
I'm saying no.
If
I don't
you
know if he
caught
came
that.
for money. If he came for money, I don't know the kid.
I
You know
can
what I mean? I
always
don't
use
know.
more money.
Right.
I don't know. Now me, I might be like, you getting a new contract? I take 1% of that, baby. Sign me in. I mean, I don't know. Like that's
Break me off.
Yeah, like it's really hard. 500,000. That's a good
That's
chunk.
substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the guy that caught Maris's ball, I forgot what they like barely struggled to get tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid was telling a story the other day. I mean, not the kid, the man was telling a story the other day, and they ended up financially setting up their families with $5,000 back then in the 1961 or whatever it was.
Wow.
And the guy gave him like $5,000 for the ball, and that like set them up like
the rest of their lives.
50,000 might have been whatever, but
But
it set them
still.
up. Yeah.
Wow.
They bought the house and stuff, and so yeah, I was curious about that. Like,
Yeah, no.
You're not giving it back,
Nah.
right?
I'm gonna wait till you die.
Why are you waiting till he dies?
Because then they're gonna want that. I don't know how sports works. I just assume everything becomes more money when they die.
kill him. Get more money.
Somebody shot Aaron Judge with a blow dart gun and he's dead. I
Guess
wonder.
what I got?
They were saying Reggie
looky.
Jackson about when the Queen died. They were like, "Where's Reggie Jackson? Remember Naked Gun?" They were like,
For those of you who weren't born in that time frame, Naked Gun was a parody movie with Leslie Nielsen and O.J. Simpson.
"OJ." Yeah.
Wow. Go check it out. It's hysterical. If you have nothing to watch, go to Netflix and watch Naked Gun. I'm not giving it back. I'm definitely not.
I'm not. Yeah.
Sign the
no.
ball. Let's get a couple of flicks. Sorry, Aaron. Love you. You're a multimillionaire. I'm broke.
I don't know if he'll sign the ball without he's taking. I mean, I don't know
Well,
what
he's gonna
doing.
take it.
Oh,
at
I'll
once.
jump like, yo.
Albert Pujols hit another win recently, and he told the family to keep it because he's going close to 700 home runs.
Aaron Judge shouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I.
You know, I get it. Like, career-wise, oh, yo, this is my 60th, blah, blah. But come on. You're a multimillionaire, bro. You know what I'm saying?
What's the difference of him pulling out like a replica ball and being like?
Because it's not the actual ball.
Yeah,
Who gotta know?
They authentic.
Who gotta know?
Actually, when he
certificate
goes,
of
yeah, they take them out
authentication?
and they
Yeah.
put in a special ball. Like this is the this
This is the ball.
Do they use
Yeah.
a different one,
yeah they take out
like
it's
a
the
serial
same
number kind of thing?
yeah it's like a hologram or something. There's something on it that they're like this is the
MLB shit. Yeah.
this is the ball that's authenticated.
I would have went and got authenticated and be like, all right, Aaron, I hope you get the big contract you fighting for because you ain't getting this back,
Yeah.
homie.
I'm
When
not
you-
giving that ball. back.
Call me.
Yeah.
After you get your contract, call me. You got
Hit
my
me
number.
up.
DM me.
Yeah. You know where to find me, Jack.
That's how they talk, right?
Yeah, I would not. I definitely would not give it back to him. All right. I wanna again. Everybody, we're gonna be hearing from organizations that we're going to be posting for anybody who wants to help with the people in Puerto Rico. There's, I think, at least 2 organizations that I've heard from so far that are doing things. We're going to set up QR code. We're going to be handing over their QR code. This way, any donations that are made, you will know 100% will go to the people in Puerto Rico and not government officials. Okay? So we will be promoting that. And before we go, I want to share a reading list with everybody. Speaking to Selly's point about having the haves and the have-nots when it comes to the legal system and how class really dictates our outcomes. This was recommended. Recommended. You hear me?
Recommended.
I sound like Medea.
Fresco.
Recommended by our good brother Joseph Estrella. He recommended 3 books. So for all you readers out there, this is called When Affirmative Action Was White. It's by Ira Katz Nelson. You can find it on Amazon. He also...
We don't promote Amazon here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Barnes & Nobles. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles.
What do you mean, Amazon?
Also, The Unspoken Truth of Our Racial Divide, White Rage. It's by Carol Anderson.
Support all local bookstores. They have these
Look
books.
into the camera.
They have these books in local bookstores. Support local bookstores.
Okay. And The Color of Law, which is a really good book. You should really...
They have a documentary like that, too.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
we want to get people to read.
My bad.
Yeah. Come on. You're over here promoting local bookstores. You want them
rich.
to watch. We don't want to eat anybody. By Richard Rothstein. And Persistent Disparity, Race, and Economic Inequality in the United States since 1945 by William A. Daugherty Jr. and Samuel, is that Myers?
Yes.
Samuel L. Myers Jr. Okay? So everybody, that's your reading list. You guys got any last words before we sign off?
Any sponsors want to look out? Come help get your shit promoted. We on set. Hope you guys like the new format.
Yeah. Miss B. Chanel? Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I don't have anything fun to say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show. We'll be back next week. Come check us out. We got something different coming to the set. It's going to be an interesting one. I hope everybody can make it out. You'll see the promos for that. And we'll see you next week, same time, 7 o'clock. All right? Take care, everybody. Q-Tip, take us on out.